There are people out there who think that Indians eat naan every day, and that's just not true. Hi, welcome to my video, and if it's your first time here, then welcome to my channel. My name is Aneela, and today I'm going to show you how to make Lachcha Paratha, or the 100-layer paranthe. Mine is only going to have about 5 to 7 layers. Yours will probably only have about 5 to 7 layers, but I've often heard Lachcha Paratha referred to as the 100-layer paranthe. It's a really great alternative to naan because, believe it or not, we do not eat naan every day. It's much more common for us to eat roti, fulka, chapati. I think those are actually all the same thing. And for that reason, it's very common for those of us who are in charge of food prep to have 2 or 3 cups of atta or whole wheat flour already kneaded up into a nice little ball of dough tucked away in the fridge for us to pull out and make fresh rotis at any time. So I'm going to show you a recipe that uses 100% whole wheat flour, but you could make a version of this with half maida and half atta, or I've seen people make versions of this using only maida, and that recipe typically incorporates an egg. But this recipe is going to be completely egg-free, and what's better, you can actually make it completely vegan. So I'm going to be using vegan bissel in this recipe, but you can use ghee or butter or an oil instead. We're also going to need some garlic and some fresh herbs, and it's going to be really delicious. This is a really bougie roti that I'm going to show you, and I think you're going to like it. So let's get started. Hang on, I just gotta put the camera back. I forgot to say something. I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to make this because you might think it's really difficult to make all these layers, but I'm gonna show you 2 methods, and hopefully one of those methods will be easier than the other, and it'll be easy for you to make this really delicious recipe. Okay, now I'm good. Cue intro. I am going to be making the dough in my Ninja mixer. It has a dough kneading attachment, and this is one of the main reasons why I bought this, because I don't really like to put my hands into like wet dough. It's just me. I find it really gross. Anyway, I'm starting out with 2 cups of atta, that's whole wheat flour, and to this I'm going to add 1 cup of water. So the ratio of flour to water is 2 to 1. And you can see the dough is starting to come together quite nicely here. You want a consistency that is soft but still dry to the touch. If it feels at all gooey or wet to you, then you need to add a little bit more flour and bring it together until it kind of bounces back. See how when I squish it, it bounces up a little bit? That is the consistency that you're looking for. And then what I'm going to do next is sort of bring my dough all together into a ball and just put it aside. I'm not kneading it, just gathering it into a somewhat round shape. And moving on, we are going to make the herb mixture. So I'm starting with 2 cloves of garlic that I've grated, then 2 tablespoons each of freshly chopped mint and cilantro. And next you're going to need some kind of fat, so either ghee, some vegan butter, oil, but not too much. Okay, I actually added way too much. You're going to see I'm about to make a huge mistake. I start out well enough, adding a little bit at a time, and then no, too late. This mistake of mine is not something that is really going to affect the outcome of my Lachcha Paratha, but you will very well see why this is problematic for me later on. So the 2 methods that I'm going to show you actually start out in the exact same way. You have to start out like you're making chapatis. So take some of that dough, shape it into a ball, give it a little dusting of flour, and roll it out into a nice, beautiful circle, if possible. And 2 to 3 millimeters in thickness should be good. After that, you're going to take the herb and garlic mixture and spread it right on top. And once you've done that, you have a choice of 2 methods for how you want to actually make this Lachcha Paratha. So I call the first method the accordion fold. If you have ever folded a piece of paper into a fan, then you already possess the skills necessary to do this. And that is exactly what you're going to do. You are going to fold this up as if you were making a paper fan. That is the best way that I can think of to explain it. And hopefully you were a little more conservative than I was with the butter. Mine is oozing out of the folds. It's really not the effect I was going for. But as you roll this into the shape of a disc and you tuck the end underneath and flatten it out, you should have something that resembles like a flattened spiral, I guess. And put that aside for now while I show you method number 2, which I call the cone. You're going to start out by cutting a radius into the rolled out dough, so a line from the center to the perimeter, and then you're gonna, I guess, pick up the end and roll the shape of a cone around the, like, you know, roll it around, just roll it around into the shape of a cone. Again, I'm having way too much difficulty with that butter, but you know, serves me right because I was overzealous. Now when you get to the end, just try to, you know, pinch it together and smush it down into a flattened disc, just like the flattened disc that we created from method 1. And it should be smooth sailing from here because you're going to roll these out the same way that you would as if you were making any other type of Indian flatbread. Well, maybe not naan, because naan is shaped differently, but if you were making like a fulka, chapati, roti, even a stuffed paranthe, you know, we all get to this stage where it's time to roll it out. So that's what you're going to do. So I rolled out 3 of them and I just put them aside on a plate so that I could cook them. And I'm actually going to be freezing these parathas just for my own convenience. I do this from time to time if I know I have a couple of busy days coming up, or if I'm not going to be home for dinner, which is rare but happens from time to time. Anyway, you cook these up the same way that you would cook any other type of, you know, stovetop flatbread like roti, chapati, fulka, anything that you would cook on a tawa. The method is the same. You know, you cook it, you flip it, you keep cooking it, and you're going to see really beautiful layers starting to form. Don't worry, don't be nervous. It's not your roti like splitting in half. Those are the layers. And that's why this is sometimes called a 100-layer paratha, although, like, not mine. Mine have nowhere near 100 layers, obviously. But some people make these really well. They're able to create a lot of layers in theirs. I'm just happy with, you know, whatever comes, really. If we're going to eat these right away, then I'll put them inside a little cloth warmer like what I have here. If I'm going to freeze them, then I like to do so between layers of wax paper. I put these into another bag and they go into the freezer. I try to eat them within a month to 6 weeks. I don't like to leave them in there for too long. But there you have it. 2 ways for you to make Lachcha Paratha. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell and leave a comment down below and a thumbs up and share this video with like everyone that you know. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.